we're going to have a look at my match against Cameron Donnely. So now Cameron is quite a high-level opponent. He's come second at the European trials, not the most recent ones, but the ones before that. He faced Owen Jones in the finals, and he's had many matches on Polaris, and he's faced some good people, and he's known for his guard playing leg locks. So we're gonna analyze this match and see how I did against him. So the match starts off. We shake hands and we go at it. So interesting enough, neither of us decided pull guard. We start wrestling from here. From here, I start thinking about winning the hand fighting battle, and I start feeling my opponent out and looking for his reaction. So from here, I tie up on the wrist, and I use my other hand to start faking the leg and go back towards the head, and just tie up and see where he's at. So I try going for the arm drag. He squares up. As he squares up, I use his reaction to go towards the Russian tie, and I establish good control, and I start fighting from here. From the Russian tie, you can see how I switch towards a figure 4 grip, and what he's trying to do, he's trying to grab my elbow, peel it open, and punch the underhook. But he kind of leaves his wrist in a bad position, and I use this to roll him through, sitting him like so. So you can see now his wrist is behind his back, and his arm is in quite a compromised position, and he has no choice but to roll through. From here, I keep the grip, put him on his back, and I get my 2 points. So quite a nice takedown, and very smooth by me. You can see I roll through, pin him on his back, and now we start attacking. So something I've been working on is being a lot more defensively sound from my guard and denying his ability to get connection and start getting into attack. So from here, you can see I'm stripping the connection he has towards me, and I start focusing on getting angles and getting outside the feet. So it's still the first opening minute of this match, so something to think about. I don't want to get too fatigued. I don't want to pull. I don't want to go too hard in the first opening minute. So let's watch that stack sequence from here. Because that's that threading side-to-side movement, his feet come more upright and go above his knees. Anytime the feet goes above the knees, perfect time to drop into this stack. Now, I drop in, but you can see how he hooks his leg behind my hamstring. This was quite poor by me. What I probably should have done, I should have probably went single stack and then shot around the corner and towards a single side stack. But this is okay as well. But because that foot is hooked in here, I'm probably never going to be able to finish a stack pass. I would need to drop to my hip or drop belly down and then try to clear that hook that he has on me. So you can see I try backstepping. He sits up and I have to recover like so. But even then, not a bad exchange. I'm back to passing. I'm still on top and I've applied pressure to his guard. Now you see me camp in the split squat position, just trying to lean into him and apply weight. It's still the first opening minute, so it doesn't make sense to go too hard. From here, he does quite a good job getting his leg from the outside, from the inside of my hamstring to the outside of my hip. So now I can start attacking K-guard. So what I think about doing is keeping this leg weighted as much as possible. I know if I lean my body weight towards my other leg, he can easily start exposing my hamstring and going to K-guard. So you can see me step up this leg and control it from here. Something else I'm doing, I'm also trying to put as much weight over that hip/foot as possible. The more he can climb up with his shoulders and hand, the more he can get my weight off my knee. So if I can push his hip down with my hand, I can stop him from getting into his attacks. So you can see I'm pushing the ankle down, trying to bring my knee in and knee cut, trying to address that foot. And eventually at his side, I start stepping up and going towards a counter. So from here, I step up and I use a near side stack grip, as I call it, to go inside the hip, and I use my hips to bump and I back step at the same time. I focus on rolling him through and clearing that. So quite a nice counter. I don't really get any offense out of it, but I cause him to reset, let go, and then we can look to pass from there. So now just circling, getting angle. Once again, you can see how anytime his feet are playing too high, I can just dive in for the stack. From here, I start switching towards camping and just exhausting him because he brings his ankle low. And my goal from here is mainly to deny him connection and then look to switch back towards loose passing. Same again here. He wants to high leg. Anytime he high legs, his ankle comes above his knees, And the stack pass is so easy to get into. This time, you can see when I go into it, I do a slightly better job dealing this leg and pinning it towards the ground, and I managed to get double unders. He reacts by kind of like pushing me away and doing like a quasi backwards roll, and I just focus on staying connected towards him. So keeping my elbow hidden, that's the main thing, so you can't expose my elbow, and staying side on and grabbing the hip. He wants to high leg and put his leg inside my armpit, and I want to shut down that space by turning my body. So you can see he's trying to high leg, and now from here I lift him up, I roll him all the way through. Probably quite poor control. I should have stayed on locked hands longer, and I should have probably put my knees behind his spine and slowly rolled him through, but I opted to use a speed approach and just roll him through. But this means I have no connection, so he can quite easily pull back towards guard. So I kind of roll him through too much, and he managed to recover. But something to think about, like, still fairly exhausting. From him, he's having to like widen his knees and push me off, and fairly efficient by me. So now you can tell he's kind of getting a little bit tired, and I'm kind of melting his guard. From here, I go to start sprawling, and I start hand fighting. He wants to get a 2-on grip. I want to get 2-on-1 grips on him. We can see us playing from here, taking my time. Now this sequence is quite nice, so let's break that down. So anytime I have a scoop, something I'd be doing, in order to clear that leg, I pretty much, it almost seems like I give up top position. So if I hit a heavy back step, and I scissor and I almost drop to my hip. So it's almost like I'm giving up top position, but because I'm underneath his legs, I'm actually quite safe. This is something I saw like the half a Mendes brothers doing, especially to like bendy guards like Paulo Miao. They often take this posture where they hip drop to get underneath both the legs, and it works best when you have a scoop and you're having trouble getting underneath the other leg, because it changes the angle and allows you to bring the leg very upright and then go from here. And you can see how I managed to get deep on a single side scoop, and now I can start stacking him. This time I'm in deeper and I'm in better position, so I focus on taking my time more, and I focus on using my chest and taking better positioning, so the follow-up is better. So now when he turtles, I'm chest to back, and I can easily switch my upper body grips and hook behind here. Something you notice was I hooked my ankle behind his ankle before I switched my grip. So if he did roll, I was already kind of connected to him. I can start taking his back. From here, I throw my hook in, and as we roll through, I attack the neck, and I get the quick submission. So quite a good match by me. Something I think is going to be the new meta, especially soon, is the more flexible your opponent is, and the more he is better at guard retention and shutting down side to side passing, the easier it is to get into like snack passing. So you can see, like, the more I apply pressure towards his guard, the more he plays with his ankle up high above his knee, and the more easy it is to get the scoop. And then anytime I get the scoop, I can go underneath the leg, I can start hitting stack passes. So quite a good sequence and quite a good match by me.